My name is Yolanda Poe, and welcome to the other side of victory. Tonight, we have Altovise Pelzer in the room. And forgive me because I'm getting questions about what time and how to watch. And give me a second. One minute. Sorry, guys. Okay. So
No
tonight
worries. So while you're doing that, I'll say, hey, guys. I'm time to go into shares.
Right? Okay. So you're pausing a little bit, but I'm ready. Okay. So this is the deal. This is the skinny. The interview is with Altovise Pelzer, the entrepreneur, the awards winning. Because there's more in that office. The awards winning Altovise Pelzer. But before we begin, I got to do what I always do, y'all. February the 13th at 9 p.m. I'm doing an interview with two lovely young ladies. The topic is from hell to victory, and as it pertains to domestic violence. So we're going to take a look at two different lifestyles: the life of a married woman going through domestic violence, and a life of a woman that is single that is going through domestic violence, both having children. So I really, really want you to block that out on your calendar. Make sure that you're here for these young ladies. These young ladies are eager to assist you in knowing the ins and the outs, the skinny, the tea, if you will. So make sure that you make yourselves available. So I'm going to tell y'all the truth, because see, this is how I roll, right? I called her up on the phone today. I'm real impromptu. These first like 3 weeks or so are gonna be like this here. I'm just gonna be like, if I call you, right, answer the phone. Don't play. I might know where you live, so don't do that. Don't make me show up. Okay, trying to look like I'm good people. Anywho, I called her up today and I asked her to come into this interview simply because she hasn't been in this capacity on this type of platform in a minute. So there's a lot that has happened to her in the last couple of years. So Altovise, it's been 7 years?
Yeah.
Give or take?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to talk about your journey a little bit. So from the time you started, what did that journey look like?
So that journey has included some ups and downs. It's included rebranding, failing, being blocked, being talked about, being ridiculed. There's been so many different things that have happened in my personal life as well as in the business. And every step of the way, and literally a testament to how good God is, because I wouldn't be where I am right now if I did not spend that time in relationship with him, if I did not spend that time in worship and prayer. Many other people that have gone through less than what I've been through and they completely shut down. There are people that have been through less than what I've gone through, and man, it's been devastating for them. So from the time I started until now, things have changed. We've had a pandemic. We've had, I myself, all my kids have graduated from high school. 2 are currently in college. 2 are currently working. And it's like, every step of the journey requires something different. And there's so many people that think that we can create like a business plan, and then that business plan is going to just be the same plan. Like we're just going to rinse and repeat it for the next 20 years. And in all actuality, that's just not how it goes. So it's definitely been some hills and some valleys, but I wouldn't give it up for anything.
So at one time you were working for someone in the entrepreneurial type pool, if you will. What happened in that position and how did you transition? How did that affect you?
So it was quite interesting. I've been in many different communities when it comes to entrepreneurship. I'm somebody that is, tends to be the person in the background. I like to be able to support. One of the biggest things is supporting entrepreneurs as they are building, rebranding, and structuring their business um, with their story as the cornerstone. And so I've always been that person that has wanted to help and see people progress. Um, and I've been in communities and been behind the scenes and got to see a lot of the good, the bad, the ugly when it comes to entrepreneurship. And so when I am invested in somebody, I'm heavily invested. That's not always a good thing. It doesn't always work out in your favor that way. But I was in the community, and I remember doing an interview with Daniel Gomez, who's another entrepreneur and speaker. And we prayed, and he was just like, I just keep hearing God say that there's somebody who keeps saying 10x, 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 but God is saying that he can 60x it. And you know how when people give you a prophecy, people pray for you, people say they hear from God for your life. Sometimes we hold on to it and we're like, okay, yes, and we run with it. And other times we're like, oh, okay, that's cute.
That's real.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And this one was one where I was like, oh, okay, all right. I understood what they was talking about. All right. And literally within 30 days, all heck broke loose.
How so?
The community that I was a part of uh, completely turned their back on me. I was blocked. I was let go from working in that community. It literally happened just like that. And I found myself really hurt.
Mm.
And why? Sometimes we forget um, that people aren't us. Like there's an expectation that other people will have the same actions and reactions that we'll have. And even when you and I have spoken before, we were talking, and for those of you that don't know, this amazing woman right here is my auntie, and I love her 100%. And it's so funny. One of the things that often happens is she will go and shop for things, and ultimately it's for me. In particular, boots. I'm just going to put it out there. And so a statement that she made was, I wish I had a me. And that's a major statement because a lot of times that's how we feel. We wish we had a version of us. Like I'm the one that pushes people to take pictures, record themselves, always creating content. Like they listen, those who know me and who are around me, they give me the side eye often. But they always know also that they can kind of come to me because I'm gonna be like, all right, let's take some pictures. Let's make sure we capture some pictures. I don't like doing it for myself though.
That's
And
true.
so but we always wish that we had people that treated us the same way that we treat people. And we don't always get that. And so it was devastating to me because I had invested out. Again, when I go hard, I go hard. I'm promoting, I'm going up, but I found myself in a place where I was putting out more money than what I was bringing in. I found myself in a place where I was emotionally drained. And what really did it for me, before everything transpired, was I was in a class and the coach was speaking to someone, and my daughter walked up to me and she looked at me and said, "Mom, why are you still there?"
Mm. Wow.
Y'all, that hurt.
Wow.
That hurt. And I was just like, well, and you kind of, as a parent, we kind of give this generic response. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's because the business of dot dot dot. But in all actuality, because you want a sense of community, and again, want people to pour back into us the same way we pour back into them. So that separation was necessary, but it was
Mm-hmm.
hard.
Stepping out into unfamiliar territory is a deep thing. It's when you're used to going to the beach, and every time you go to the beach, you walk out on the sand and you love it there. And then you go to the very edge of the water and you might stick your toe in. It feels nothing like when you step all the way in, because the waves are different. The deeper you go in, the heavier the waves are. And you have to ground yourself. So tell me, what was your next step?
I went back to God because here's the thing, and I'm gonna just, it is what it is. There will be often times where we will say, God, I trust you. I believe the word of God. I believe everything God says. But then when something happens that rattle us, we'll try to go and fix it with our own two hands instead of going back to God.
Right.
And I always think of I always think of the clip. What's the plan here, Phil? What's the plan? We got to go back to God, because sometimes that's how we look. We look like Phil did on the front of the hood of that car, trying to stop the car on the hood of the car. What's the plan here? What are you really doing? And I went back to God and was like, God, all right, I trust you, because this was a chunk of money out of my budget. This was me walking away from a community that I was intertwined with. And I even had clients that were still a part of it. And me being the bigger person, I went to my clients and said, hey, I'm no longer a part of this community. I'm giving you the opportunity to sever, not anything with them. I'm giving you the opportunity to stop working with me. And because of who I am, I had clients that were like, no, I want to stay. But then here's the thing too. Afterwards, I had people that came to my program because they said, you were different than everybody else. There was something about you that was unique. I had people come to me and say, I had stopped listening to you. Listen, I had stopped listening to you while you were in that community because of how you started to sound. But once you left, I heard something different in you. I saw something different in you. And I came back and started listening to your live streams and things again. And
Wow.
that was like, okay, I had to pull you away and separate you because people couldn't see you.
You were becoming someone
And
other
it was
than yourself.
difficult. How about that? Not only becoming someone, but taking on the characteristics of someone that was going to take full, they were going to take full accountability for everything that I was going to do and everything I had done. And God said, no, I needed you to come back away from that because I needed people to see that it was God.
Absolutely.
Like when I tell you where I am right now, it's only God. There has been points where I have stepped back from doing as much as everybody else is doing. And in stepping back, I'm making more. It's all God.
So tell me this. Now, walk me through the journey because you rebranded. So who were you before you were unmuted?
So I was the voice coach. I was the voice manager. I was a lot of stuff. I was the unicorn. Which is a funny progression. It was a funny progression, but I was the unicorn. There was this thought process because I am an introvert, and so I'm normally like a little more reserved. I'm not usually the loudest one in the room. Listen, I was usually the one at the back of the room because that's the quickest way to get out the room before everybody else does. Slide out to the bathroom, things like that.
Say less.
But I found myself being pulled and drawn to the front of the room, being on stages, doing the podcast, being in magazines all around the world. Like so many different opportunities were opening up, and it was weird. It was weird, but I always took a different approach to it. So that made me the unicorn. To the point where everybody was gifting me with all types of unicorn stuff. I had unicorn mugs for days, y'all. But what I found was that it wasn't so much that I was a unicorn. It was that I was called. And so it was the maturity that had to happen. So when I first started, I was the unicorn and everything was World Voice League and, so many things there. And even to the point where I just recently transitioned from World Voice League to Unmuted Voices. And what a big transition that was for me, because everything I had been doing up until this point was World Voice League. And no one really understood the emotional transition that I had to go through to let that go. Because reality is when we're building something, it's our baby. It's very special to us. And to walk away from something, there is separation anxiety, there's fear, there's shame, there's a mistrust. Because we feel as though there? Oh yeah. Because how do I know if this is going to work? I can be very transparent. My journey has not looked like most people's journeys. And I remember when everything started really well, this whole coaching boom, I remember launching not one, not two, but 3 different classes where I got 0 people that actually signed up. Ouch. And this is with me I had a following on social media. I had people that were coming in and connecting with me, sharing their stories. I had 3 separate classes that literally no one signed up for.
Wow.
And the very next thing that was something to do was a community. Listen.
Yo, you in the dark.
The very next thing.
With a flashlight by
very
yourself.
Next thing. Listen, the very next thing was launch this membership community that I did on Saturdays. And it was an accountability community. Y'all, I almost didn't launch it. I I almost didn't launch it.
Mm.
And it lasted for 6 years. I just closed it last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw families come back together. I saw women build and strengthen themselves. I saw women who had gone through domestic violence, abuse, cancer, find their strength and find their voice and be able to tell their story and show up in the world unapologetic.
Mm.
And it's interesting because you have so many people, their fight is for them to, I want to see, you know, I want to have 100 people in my class. I want to be able to say I sold out. And all that's cute. I want to see results. Like, it's great to have the numbers. What's the results look like?
That'll preach.
And I can honestly say that that transition put me in a position. If I would have had the classes, it would have been like, yes, because I got 50 people in my class and this and that. But me having the accountability membership, I saw lives changed.
Mm. That's worth its weight in gold.
Exactly. That was so much more, not even gratifying. That was so much more of you're in the right spot. Anything else.
Wow. So let me fast forward a little bit. So I got a phone call from you a couple of years back. And I'm going to give it to you the way auntie is what I got. I didn't understand what was going on. She wasn't just nominated for an award. Sister Soldier got an award. And my fiance, David, and I were privy to be there when she received her award. It was a red attire, if you will. I'd love to give the woman her props here on it, but I can't remember her name. So you're going to help me with that. But it was mind blowing. How did you feel when you got the email or opened it? What happened? How did it work? What happened?
So Dr. Cheryl is an amazing woman. She's an amazing speaker, entrepreneur. Like, she's awesome. Her and I met years prior. And so the first year that she did SpeakerCon, and she actually raved because she we had some difficulties, and I was in one room and she was in the main room, and we were like pushing through. Like, we made it happen. Amazing. And to the point where people were coming to the room and staying in the other room. And when she came in, it was so electric in the room. Like, it was so, we had so much energy. She was like, what are we doing in here? But I had the opportunity to work with her and serve. Okay. And then the next year, she messaged me and she said, what's your email? I was like, oh, okay, I sent her the email, and I got an email stating that I was nominated and was going to be awarded the SpeakerCon Speaker on the Rise Award. And being an introvert, fearful of standing in front of people, the very first time that I spoke in 2016, professionally, it was a weekend in Florida. Everybody knows Florida's hot, right? Everybody say Florida's hot.
Florida's hot.
And I did the whole event with a jacket on because I was sweating so bad. Whole weekend.
Wow.
And here it is, fast forward to receiving a Speaker on the Rise award. Bananas. So it was definitely like, it gave me all the feels. I was excited. The most valuable piece was I had to write my very first acceptance speech.
That's amazing. Absolutely
And
amazing.
got rave reviews on the speech too, y'all.
You better come through. Listen, guys, I have to say, see, I know her from pigtails. I have a sister. She says, I know you from ponytails and pigtails. I know who when she had pigtails, okay? I know when she was who she was when she was a child. So to see her evolve into this woman of excellence, and to see her walk in her excellence, it blows my mind. Like, wow, you know, she manages to grow with each hurdle, and she does it without calling anybody. It's that's a whole nother interview, but she does it without calling anybody. She has spent the bulk of her time laying on her face, dealing with what she deals with and taking it to God. So how has this transition, because guys, we're getting ready to wrap this up, but how has this transition affected your walk with God? What has it done from the time that you started up until this point? Because see, when we were struggling trying to keep your mother alive, you were writing. She had several titles, and she thought the titles, I gotta tell it, were chapters in a book. And she later found out that those were the books titles that she was writing. But everything had to broaden. So from that point on, I remember us having a conversation in the living room. Because see, I'm very military, and we're both introverts. So we were always together, never together, living in the same home. I walked up to her one day because we realized that it was about that time where Annie was getting ready to go on home to see God. And I said, listen, I'm just telling you, I'm going to be here for you. We're going to be all right. I almost gave her a pound. Like, I know. Because I don't know how to, I know how to execute a demand. But if you're looking for something from my heart, I can't hand that to you, because that requires emotion. And we don't have time to be emotional. Okay? We at war. Man up. I tell her that all the time. What are you here for? What are you doing? So from that point, Altovise, to now, your walk with God. Where's that at? How'd that start? How'd that finish?
So
because we're at this point.
So I have to say it like this. What I had is very different than what I have. What I had was the beginning stages. It was me being able to roll onto my belly. It was me being able to scoot and crawl. What I have now is a walk with God.
That's beautiful.
When you think about what it means to walk with God, it's an intimate opportunity. Sometimes there's no words at all being said. Sometimes there's tears. I think about moments where throughout the pandemic, me and one of my sisters, Sabrina, we went and found all these all over Delaware. and we would walk these trails, and we were doing it, as a fitness. We were doing it, because we was going,
Be slim
not
goody.
trying to get that COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
The
Trying to be slim
COVID-19
goodies.
pounds.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And she used to laugh at me because there would be moments where I would make her pull out her phone and record herself, what she was currently thinking, what she was currently doing. And it was because that's what I do when I walk with God. Like, there's some times where I'll just go for a walk and I record myself talking to God, like, like, we always talk about, oh, yes, thou art, oh, Father, thou shalt. No, it's God, I don't see it. God, I know you said it's there, but I don't see it. God, I feel like crap.
Mm-hmm.
God, this hurts. And it's intimate because something that I've realized, and we got to be very careful with how we define the relationships that we have. An intimate relationship means that I can talk and listen, but not at the same time. An intimate relationship means that I want to share with you. I don't want to hold back. That's a level of maturity that a lot of people don't get to in their relationship, because it's this pride and bravado that makes them say, I got to hold this to myself. I won't give them this part of me. They can't have this part of my life. They can't have this part of my heart. And when we think about how we walk with God, that's how we are. I can give him this idea that I have, but I won't give him this idea. I can give him this prayer, but I won't give him this one. This one, I'll hold this one to my chest. I just want, even though he knows already. But it's that intimacy and being able to say, all right, God, this is where I'm at right now. And
Gotcha.
even in the relationships that he has allowed me to develop, I'm a lot more transparent now. I'm a lot more open now, even with my children, than what I've been before, because that relationship me with God has taught me how to be a better friend. It's taught me how to be a better sister. It's taught me how to be a better mother. It's taught me to be a better future wife. It's taught me how to be better because I'm no longer guarded. And I'll be honest, I've been through enough. I have every right to be guarded with the
Earn that
things that I
right.
have endured. Come on, I've earned it. Come on. Well, with
Right.
stripes,
Got
boo,
to,
and
yeah.
scars.
You served your time.
But but I have to live like that. I have the opportunity to have that intimate relationship and those intimate friendships. And it's scary. And this is how I know that this is the level that I'm at, is when I'm going to another level. That's the first thing that the enemy comes after.
Indeed.
That's the first thing that he attacks, is my relationships.
Indeed. So I got one last question to ask you. If you could give advice to anyone, my focus is domestic violence. That's where I'm at. It's really important that when you in it is one thing, and if you manage to get out, we never know what to do next. So if there are women out there that are watching you right now, trying to figure out what's the what advice could you give to them to help them along the way?
Now, this is a hard one
Mm-hmm.
because not everybody can come to grips with it. And somebody going to hear this piece and roll their eyes at me. It's all right. My advice is be transparent about where you are. We cannot get the help that we need. We cannot get the resources, the support that we honestly need if people don't know what we need. It's very easy for us to say we got it. What's our famous line? Oh, we good.
I got it.
Straight.
I'm good.
I'm Gucci.
Exactly.
And the reality is you're not.
You need to take that mask off. Stop playing with stuff.
And here's the thing. When we hide it, we bury it, it becomes a seed.
And that will grow.
So the thing that you didn't want people to see, they're going to see it. The roots are going to go through every part of your being, your heart, your vision, and your sight. It's going to go through every part of your life. And then it's still going to blossom and produce fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So my advice is be transparent about where you are. If you made a mistake, not all mistakes are easy to come back from, but living in it is much more dangerous.
Agreed. Altovise, it has been such a pleasure to have you tonight. I'm excited because see, I haven't had a chance to actually talk to you like this and forever. So thank you for opening yourself up and making yourself available. Anyone that's associated with Altovise that is close, please look for me to be calling you. I'm just gonna put you out on Front Street right now. I watched you subscribe and everything else. I will be, instead of tea, this is water. Because we've had the tea with Altovise tonight.
I don't have a fancy cup.
You know what I'm saying? Altovise, tell everybody how they can find you. And you have mugs and t-shirts and help the people.
Sure, connect with me. So many ways to connect. Best way to connect is Instagram. I am at Altovise Unmuted on Instagram. Also, if you look at the description, particular interview, you will see a couple links where you can connect with me as well. But Instagram is going to be the bestest place to go ahead and connect, because in my bio there, you'll be able to go ahead and check out everything from the website to the merch. You'll be able to check it out because everything is about unmuted over here. We unmuted. That's what we do.
Okay, awesome. Well, guys, this is gonna bid us a good night. I'm like 9 minutes over my schedule, but this was some good stuff. I enjoyed the tea this evening. Please don't forget February 13th at 9 p.m. From Hell to Victory. I have put out some flyers that probably have given some church folk some jerry curls. They've probably lost their hair. But I think it's very important that the rawness of it is out there. So when women are going through abuse, the men are cussing. I want you to write that down somewhere because that'll bless you. They are cussing. They are saying obscene things. We've lost Altovise. They're saying obscene things that are disgusting and vile. And yes, I have put them with the announcement. Yes, I have. So I'm not apologizing because I need you to understand what these women go through. A man is not looking at these women and saying, I dislike you. That's not what they're saying. It's a lot harsher. 4-letter words are being exchanged, and there's screaming, there's yelling, there's fighting, there's kicking. There's a lot that goes on. So I want you to be here with us on February 13th so we can walk out this victory moment with these women. And we're going to get to tea. I'm going to bid you a good night. Thank you so much for coming and spending time with us on the other side of victory. My name is Yolanda Poe. See you tomorrow night, 9 p.m. I'm looking for you. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at?